In 1988, the Just Do It slogan was coined and has been associated with Nike ever since. So, while we're giving credit to artists and creators like Carolyn Davidson and John Brown and Partners, let's talk about who created the Just Do It tagline. In 1980, Dan Whedon met David Kennedy while working at an ad agency called McCann Erickson in Portland, Oregon. When that place shut down, the two left to another Portland agency called William Kane, where they worked together on an account of a nearby startup called Nike. The two founded Whedon and Kennedy in 1982 on April Fool's Day, and took Phil Knight and his company along with them. Around this same time, Nike was losing some of its market share, and a young designer working at Nike proposed to Knight that maybe they should do more marketing. Phil Knight was famously misinterpreted saying that he hated marketing, but what he meant is that he actually hated traditional marketing. The agency's first advertisements were 3 television commercials for Nike that were aired during the New York City Marathon in October 1982, which were actually lost up until 2014. And in 1988, the Just Do It slogan was coined and has been associated with Nike ever since. However, what isn't as well known is the inspiration behind the term. According to Dan Whedon, who pitched the slogan to Nike, Dan confessed that he took inspiration from convicted murderer Gary Gilmore's last words. You can read up more on him if you want, but basically he robbed and killed 2 people back to back. He was sentenced to death and chose to be killed by firing squad. Gilmore was strapped into a chair, and behind the screen, 5 men raised their rifles. And Gilmore said, "Let's do it." Interestingly, Gary was executed in 1977 and was the first person to be executed in the United States in almost 10 years, since the Supreme Court ruled out death penalty in 1972. Nike didn't feel like the campaign needed the tagline, but allowed it anyway. Creatives in the agency all questioned if we really needed it, says Whedon now. Nike questioned it. I said, look, I think we do. I believe we have too many disparate commercials that don't add up to anything without a tagline. I'm not married to the thing. We can drop it next round. A lot of shrugged shoulders, but they let it ride. By the way, if you've seen the Nike movie Air that recently came out, you probably knew this fact already as it's in the beginning of the movie.